Hi, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I am going to be chatting with the lovely Jodie Abrahams, who is a registered nutritional therapist. And we're going to be talking all about the power of Omega-3, how it can help when trying to conceive and through pregnancy. So she will be joining me any second, and we look forward to all of your questions. Please feel free to ask. We're going to be talking about why it is good when you're trying to conceive and for pregnancy, so the benefits, when you should take it and how much. These are all questions that you guys want to know. And how do you know if you're deficient, which is, again, something that I have never known, and how it can help you when you're preparing for trying to conceive, and really the importance of it. So I'm going to invite Jodie in now. Hi to those benefits of Omega-3 when you're trying to conceive and also pregnant. So hello to those who are joining. Jodie will be with us any second. Here we go. Hi Jodie.
Hi Eloise, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's nice to see you.
You too. Thank you so much for your time today. I've just given everybody a kind of introduction about what we're going to be discussing. But if you could please tell us a little bit about what you do as a registered nutritional therapist at World Nutrition. And then we're going to talk about the power of Omega-3, how it can help when you're trying to conceive and pregnant.
Yes, sounds great. So yes, I'm one of the nutritional therapists on the team at World Nutrition. And we offer support to customers via free 15-minute consultations, and also we do a longer consultation, a 45-minute consult if people want to go more in depth. But basically what we're here to do is support customers with finding the supplements for the range that are best suited to them and their personal needs, because we all have different needs. And while there are some generic things that we know that are beneficial for most people, you know, in some cases people need a bit more support and guidance on choosing what's right for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just before we start, I just want to share with anyone watching that we do have a lovely offer from you, so thank you. For £10 off new orders and 20% off as well if you subscribe, the link is in our bio, use code WILDRibbonBox and that will get you £10 off plus 20% on top if you subscribe. So worth knowing as we're chatting through Omega-3 and the World Nutrition range. So let's talk a bit about why is Omega-3 good for you? What are the benefits?
Yes, so Omega-3 is an incredibly important nutrient in the body, and it's what is called an essential fatty acid, which means that we can't make it ourselves in the body. We have to get it through diet or supplements. So Omega-3 has a number of really important functions in the body. It helps to maintain a healthy brain. So the form of Omega-3 called DHA is very, very highly concentrated in our brain tissue. Our brain is made up largely of fatty tissue in the grey matter, and DHA is particularly concentrated there. It's also really important for our vision. It plays an incredibly important role in the immune system and in regulating inflammation, and that is more the EPA form of Omega-3. It's also really important for heart health, for blood pressure, for mood and cognition. If we're thinking about the brain side of things, cognitive health is very much associated with Omega-3 status. Omega-3 also acts as a kind of internal moisturizer and lubricator, so it helps to keep our joints well lubricated. It's really great for skin health. It helps to keep our cell membranes permeable, which is particularly important in fertility. And it's also a raw material for our body's natural sex hormone production. So Omega-3 is really needed to support hormonal balance too.
Great,
So
thank you.
Benefits.
Many benefits. I
Many
didn't know those. I knew some, but not all. And I'd like to invite anyone who's watching, please feel free to send in your questions via the comments box to Jodie, who was very happy to answer them. You can DM the team at World Nutrition afterwards if you have any other questions as well. So this is something that we get asked a lot, and you know, of course, we're not the experts in supplements like you are, but how much should you take each day?
Great question. So Ideally, we should all be eating sort of 2 to 3 portions of oily fish per week. And when we're talking about oily fish, we mean like salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, herring, trout, those kind of fish. The reality is many of us are not eating that much fish. Some of us don't eat fish at all. There are also some concerns in terms of dietary intake around heavy metal exposure and PCBs and toxins, especially around fertility and pregnancy. And the other thing to say, I suppose, around the ideal amount that we should be getting is that at different life stages, we will need different amounts and different balances of the EPA and DHA. And also there are certain conditions or sort of states of health that we may be in where we would have a higher need for omega-3. But for most adults, generally speaking, the kind of optimal amount is provided in our pure strength omega-3 product, which is 800 milligrams of EPA and 400 milligrams of DHA, and that is the daily dose for optimal intake.
Now, I know it's hard without having a consult to give personal, you know, sort of medical history and explain everything that you need to know when sort of telling people what they should be taking. But Leanne has just asked, which omega-3 supplements can she purchase for pregnancy and what is the daily dose? Because we have put the link in the bio. So Jodie, please let Leanne know.
Yeah, so we have our pure strength omega-3, which is our kind of general omega-3 support. And then we also have a pregnancy and new mother omega. And what I was just saying about the needs for the balance of omegas being different at different life stages in pregnancy and postnatally, if you're breastfeeding, that balance is different. So we do a pregnancy and new mother omega, and the balance in that one is different. So it is a higher ratio of DHA to EPA. So you get 500 milligrams of DHA and 250 milligrams of EPA in the pregnancy and new mother omega.
Okay, so Leanne, if you want to head to our link in bio, use code WILDRibbonBox so you can get £10 off on that. And then the next thing I wanted to ask you is this is a great question because I have actually been deficient in vitamin D before and other areas. How do you know if you're deficient and need a supplement, a certain type of supplement?
Yeah, it's a great question. So what I would say is that sort of testing for omega-3 status in terms of like your red blood cell levels of omega-3 isn't commonly carried out. It's not like a common test to do. It can be done, but you probably want to do it through like working with a nutritional therapist.
Yeah.
There are some common signs of symptoms that your omega-3 levels are low or maybe low. I would say that if you're not regularly eating oily fish and you're not supplementing, the likelihood is that your levels will be a bit low. Kind of common signs and symptoms can be dryness, so dry skin, dry hair, low mood and anxiety can be associated with low omega-3 status. Stiffness of your joints or just general kind of not feeling as flexible, and also signs of hormonal balance. We would always be thinking omega-3 there. So for example, things like premenstrual symptoms, any conditions where we know that there is a hormonal imbalance is a part of that picture, we would be thinking about omega-3 as well.
Interesting. It's hard to know, isn't it? Because those are symptoms that you can have for so many different things. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it might be. What would you suggest for people who want to kind of have a full checkup done in terms of seeing whether they're deficient in multiple supplements needed or areas?
Yeah, so I think the best way and the safest way to do that is by working with a nutritional therapist who can carry out or recommend those tests for you. The other thing I think we have to mention here is that supplementing in anything, if you're taking any medications or if you've got a pre-existing condition, it's always worth checking the appropriateness of that particular supplement. So yeah, we would always say that it's worth booking in to have a chat with us about that. So, you know, the 15-minute consults that we offer at Wild Nutrition are a really good opportunity to do that. Just
opportunity. And they're free.
Yeah, the 15-minute ones are free.
Amazing. Everyone should do that today. Follow our link in bio.
Yes.
Because then you get tailored advice. I've had one with Wild Nutrition in fact, serve all of our team. And it was incredible because we all had different health goals and objectives. And then we got tailored advice on what we might be deficient in, what to look for, even diet plans as well as supplement plans. And it's made such a difference to each of us in different ways.
That's brilliant to hear.
Yeah, I think it's a really great opportunity. And then if you're, could you be taking too much? Could that have a negative impact?
Yes, I mean, I would say you could take too much of anything. And that's why the dosing is so carefully, the formulations that Henrietta creates for World Nutrition, you know, they're very carefully formulated to provide optimal amounts. Like I said, there are some cases where people may need more, but that should be done under the guidance of a nutritional therapist. You know, I think with omega-3, you want to be considering things like the digestion and absorption of the oils. So if there's someone with compromised digestion, we will be talking to them about that. But yeah, I think I wouldn't really recommend people are kind of necking a bottle without kind of advice on whether increasing a dose is suitable for them.
Good point. And how, you know, for those who are trying to conceive, how can omega-3 help with conception? Why is it important?
Yes, so I mentioned the role that omega-3 plays in kind of sex hormone production. So we always, when we're thinking about fertility and conception, we always want to be thinking about a healthy menstrual cycle, ovulation, and kind of that part of the picture working as well as is possible. You know, also what I was talking about in terms of cell membrane permeability, when we're thinking about fertilization and implantation, having a permeable and healthy and fluid cell membrane, when we're thinking about the egg and the embryo, that's really important. I think when we're with kind of fertility and conception, we also really need to consider the immune system and the role that the immune system plays in that. So the immune system and the kind of the role of inflammation is really key. So keeping the immune system well balanced. There's been a lot of talk about the need to boost the immune system in recent years, and I think that can sometimes be kind of misleading. We don't want an overactive immune system. We want an immune system that responds appropriately. So that is a big part of kind of regulating inflammation. Omega-3 is hugely useful in that sense. And then I think also building up your stores, maternal stores of omega-3 prior to pregnancy is key, because there is such a high demand in pregnancy for omegas. You know, we want to, as well as thinking about kind of fetal health, we need to be thinking about maternal health. We don't want maternal stores to become depleted. There's like an increased demand in pregnancy because of fetal brain development, nervous system development, eye development. But we also want to be thinking about maternal cognition and mood and cardiovascular health and all of those things too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much, isn't there? Like these pieces of the puzzle that all come together.
Yeah.
And then how can it help you if you're pregnant? Yeah.
So, you know, I was just talking about the fetal brain development and nervous system and eye development. That's kind of important throughout pregnancy, particularly in the third trimester. There is very, very rapid brain growth that happens there. In terms of kind of mood and cognition for the mother, I mean, there's that phrase baby brain, which is problematic in itself, I think, because it's quite reductive. But actually, if you think about all of those demands from the growing baby on omega-3 stores, you know, we want to be supporting the mother's cognitive health and memory and focus and, you know, all of the things that she needs to continue being able to do to function at her best, as well as mood. And also thinking about a healthy postnatal period as well, where we would recommend that you would continue to supplement there, especially if you're breastfeeding. It's really important there. The other thing to just note on kind of pregnancy is that good omega-3 status is associated with healthy birth weight, a reduced risk of maternal complications, including preeclampsia, and it may also have a protective effect against gestational diabetes.
So the benefit, again, same with conception, really something people should take seriously and
Yes.
speak to, you know, someone like yourself to get that advice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
great. Thank you. For those who have just joined, I just want to remind you that if you head to our link in bio, you can use the code WILDRibbonBox for a lovely £10 off new orders and an extra 20% off as well if you subscribe. So check it out and we can help with that. And then what about sources of omega-3? Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yes, so in terms of dietary sources, the kind of the most bioavailable and kind of rich source of omega-3 in the diet is oily fish.
Yeah.
So, you know, salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, herring and trout, those are your kind of core fish to focus on. But like I said, kind of 2, maximum 3 portions a week. I'd probably recommend sticking to 2 portions during pregnancy. I think around plant-based sources of omega-3, so there are like flax seeds and chia seeds and walnuts are often kind of mentioned there, and they do contain some types of fatty acids that are converted in the body to the kind of active forms of EPA and DHA that we've talked about. But the thing to bear in mind there is that the amounts that are provided are much lower than what you'd get in oily fish, and the body has to go through quite a complex conversion process to make them into the active forms. So I would say that alone, they're not a particularly reliable source of the kind of the higher amounts that you would be wanting to get. For vegetarians and vegans who don't want to take a fish oil, I'd recommend looking into an algae-based omega-3 supplement. But always bear in mind with those that the kind of balance of omegas in those tends to be higher in DHA than EPA.
Yeah. Okay, that's really good to know and very thorough, because obviously there are so many people with different kind of dietary needs and requirements. So that's brilliant. Thank you. And then I have some more questions for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So you've just mentioned this, but how do supplements help over and above what you can get in your diet generally?
So I think we've already talked about the fact that many of us are not getting the optimal amounts through our diet for various reasons. If you're taking a supplement, I think one of the key things is that if you're taking a good quality supplement, you're getting a pure form of omega-3. So unfortunately, you know, because of pollution in our oceans, there are a number of kind of toxins that can be present in oily fish as a dietary source. So you want to be looking for a really, really high quality and pure omega-3. So with our omega-3s, both the pure strength and the pregnancy and new mother omega, they go through really rigorous third-party testing to screen for contaminants. And that's really, really key. The other thing that you would get in supplements above and beyond nutritional sources, dietary sources, possibly, is the balance of EPA and DHA that's tailored to your particular needs. So that's really key, because like I said, they change at different life stages, including pregnancy.
And would you, if you were speaking to someone on a one-to-one basis, giving personalised advice, and they were perhaps having IVF treatment, as many of our readers and people watching now will be, and they're taking a certain amount of omega-3, and then they become pregnant and they're obviously anxious in early pregnancy, do you sort of tailor the needs dependent on the stage? So at that point of trying to conceive, the dosage might be different to when they become pregnant to when they're in trimester.
Yeah, the balance would change, the balance of omegas that you would need. But I would say to anyone, like, you know, if you have gone through a fertility treatment cycle and you become pregnant, don't panic about the omega that you're currently taking. You know, get in touch and have a chat about how to move forward and with all of your supplement needs in pregnancy, because obviously the requirements are different to preconception. But don't worry, like, it's not changing that balance. It's not, if you're having more EPA than DHA for that initial kind of couple of weeks, there's nothing to worry about, you know.
Really good.
Yeah, we don't want
Anyone's
anyone to be concerned.
Thank you. If anyone has got any questions for Jodie, please do feel free to ask. As we said, you can follow up by DM. We can help. Wild Nutrition can help. So that's great. Thank you. And also with the free consult that people can get, you know, that's an opportunity, isn't it? Whatever stage of your journey you're at, whether you're first thinking about trying to conceive, whether you're about to have treatment, whether you're in treatment, whether you're newly pregnant, all of those areas into pregnancy, there's that level of support for that continued guidance, tailored guidance.
Definitely.
And then could you tell us a bit more about the World Nutrition Supplement range, how you can support beyond Omega-3 as well in those stages? Oh, we've lost your voice. There we go.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
Okay. So kind of preconception, we have the fertility support for women, which is a multi-nutrient, which provides all of the nutrients in the ideal balance to support kind of preparation for pregnancy and conception itself. That product really, you know, when we're thinking about kind of nutrition pre-conception and supplementation pre-conception, we're focusing on kind of two different angles. We're looking at supporting healthy menstrual health, ovulation and egg quality, and then we're also thinking about building up stores ahead of a pregnancy to make sure that stores are in a really good place. So all of the nutrients included in that formulation are food grown. They are in a very biologically active form that the body can absorb and use very effectively. We provide folate at 400 micrograms, and that is the naturally occurring form of the synthetic folic acid at the recommended level by Public Health England, the NHS. You know, you also get nutrients in there that are supportive of thyroid function. We really want to be optimizing thyroid function to support healthy conception and early stages of pregnancy. So you get a kind of wide range of nutrients in there to support egg health, ovulation, menstrual health, preparation for pregnancy. And we would recommend using the pure strength omega-3 alongside that, which has got higher EPA than DHA. And then we often also recommend additional vitamin D.
Yep.
We have for pregnancy, we have a daily essentials for pregnancy and new mother, which is a box that you would receive each month with a sachet for each day. Each sachet contains our pregnancy and new mother support, which is our multi-nutrient designed specifically for pregnancy and the postnatal period. You get our pregnancy and new mother biotic, which is a probiotic that's been again developed specifically for the needs of pregnancy. It's got 4 strains that have been really well researched for their benefits for pregnancy and breastfeeding, to support with the absorption of nutrients from food and supplements, to support immune system function, to support digestive health, and to support with in preparation for birth, the balance of the bacteria in the mother's body to support the inoculation of the baby with that bacteria as they move through the birth canal. That helps to build their own immune system. So loads of benefits of that. And then you would also get our pregnancy and new mother Omega, which I've talked about already.
So really wide range to cover all of those areas. If people are thinking, oh, you know, maybe I should have started investigating this, should have had a consultation earlier, what would you say to that? Is there ever a right time, or would you just say do it when you can and sort of take that action to get the best advice and support you can?
Yeah, I would say take the action now. You know, taking the action at any stage is a positive step. You know, in an ideal world, we want to give the body sort of 3 to 6 months to prepare for pregnancy with supplementation. But the reality is for many people is that that's just not how things happen. And we're here, you know, to support at whatever stage you're at. So just always do get in touch if you'd like to discuss supplement needs for whatever stage that you're at, and we're very happy to help.
Absolutely agree. This has been so useful, Jodie, and I've got a picture, well, not a picture, I've got a box here of your beautiful, beautiful Wild Nutrition supplements. So thank you very much for all of this fabulous information. I hope that everyone's grateful. And as I mentioned, for those who missed it before, if you head to our link in bio, you can get £10 off new orders with code WILDRibbonBox and 20% off on top if you also subscribe. So that's across the whole range, which is fantastic. So it's been absolutely lovely chatting to you today.
You
Thank you for those
too.
who joined.
It's been lovely speaking to you too. And yeah, if anyone would like further advice, please do just book in for a consultation with our team. We are here and we're ready to help.
Definitely. Everyone should definitely do that. I had one and it was brilliant. So yeah, link is in the bio for your free consult too.
Fantastic.
Cool. Thank you so much, Jodie.
You're
Bye
welcome,
everyone.
Eloise.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.